My fiancé, Keith Odell, is a hot air balloon pilot. His first love, Lavigne, insisted on taking a risk and flying to 1,000 meters above ground when the balloon's helium began to leak. In that moment of crisis, Keith grabbed the tandem parachute and leaped with her. With tears in my eyes, I begged him, "I'm pregnant with your child. Can't you take me first?" But he reproached me. "Is this really the time to fake your pregnancy because of a bit of jealousy? You learned how to skydive, but Chelle is afraid of heights. We'll wait for you on the ground." Keith Odell and Lavigne strapped themselves into the tandem parachute, bound together as tightly as conjoined twins. Then he forcibly shook off my hand and parachuted down with his first love. He failed to notice the hole in the only parachute he left me. Chelle had deliberately done it. Carrying our unborn child, I closed my eyes and leaped. The secure hold must have provided Chelle with a deep sense of safety as he guided her through the sky. Meanwhile, I stood frozen, a wave of panic crashing over me as I stared at the remaining parachute. A gaping hole marred its surface. The culprit had been brazen enough to leave behind the needle that had caused the damage, as if daring me to defy fate. "You might as well just die." The hot air balloon drifted past the edge of the cliff, and I glanced down into the abyss, the depths stretching endlessly below me. I closed my eyes and leaped, my unborn child with me. The intense sensation of free fall gripped me as if my soul was being wrenched from my body. I could see myself from above, my body plunging through the thick fog like a discarded ragdoll, hurtling toward death at terrifying speed. Memories of the past surged into my mind. I had just learned how to skydive when I found out I was pregnant. I had planned to surprise Keith with the news on his birthday, but now, it seemed, he wouldn't have cared after all. Only moments ago, I had begged him over and over again, "I'm pregnant, please, take me first." His patience had worn thin. Chelle is terrified of heights, and she has a heart condition. I can't leave her alone. "If you're going to fake a pregnancy, at least pick a better time. I swear, I'm not lying." He was furious. "Astrid, could you just be reasonable and stop causing trouble for everyone?" Keith ignored me completely as he fastened the parachute safety straps around Chelle. Meanwhile, I was on the verge of disaster. I watched the two of them as they drifted away, showing no signs of concern. Keith even slowed their descent, as though they were taking time to admire the scenic view below. It didn't matter if I died, but I couldn't bear the thought of my unborn child never getting the chance to see the world. I quickly called for help. "Miss Copperfield, please remain calm," the operator said when the call connected. "First, reduce the weight in the balloon by discarding any unnecessary items. That will slow your descent." I followed the instructions, throwing out everything I could. "We'll contact the pilot on standby immediately. Stay on the line." But the helium was leaking faster than I'd expected. With tears threatening to overwhelm me, I pleaded, "Please hurry. I don't have much time. I'm drifting towards the cliff." Before long, the park staff called me back. "Is this Astrid? Isn't Keith with you?" He jumped with Chelle first. "My parachute is damaged, please hurry," I cried. The staff member sighed. "This is bizarre. All 10 hot air balloons were fully booked today, and every pilot is already in the air. The area you're in, Zone A, is an odd choice." Even as they tried to calm my nerves, they guided me through what I needed to do. "Do you know where the gas valve is? Release the air to lower your altitude as quickly as possible." The hot air balloon floated ominously above the cliff, and I couldn't see the bottom no matter how hard I looked. I knew that releasing the air now would only speed up my demise. "I can't release the air. The balloon is hovering too high above the cliff. The drop would be too severe." The staff member hesitated. "Don't panic. Keith has already jumped, right? Once he's back, I'll have him get to you immediately." Anxiety gnawed at me as I questioned whether Keith had landed safely. He was my only hope, the most skilled one who could come back to save me. With a faint glimmer of hope, I called him 3 times before someone finally picked up. "Keith, please help me," I cried, desperation creeping into my voice. Before I could explain that my parachute was broken, he interrupted me. "Are you pretending to be pregnant again, or is this another act? You've already done skydiving before at the park, and while the boys were so scared, you had a blast. Why are you being so dramatic? Just jump already. Stop being so stubborn." Then I heard Michelle's delicate voice on the other end. "Keith, I feel so dizzy, and my heart hurts. I need to take Chelle to the hospital for a checkup. Once you land, you'll have to make your own way home," Keith said before he hung up. "Once I land?" I let out a wry laugh, uncertain whether I would even make it home alive. Before I could say another word, he hung up. My relationship with Keith had always been one-sided. I was the only one who made any effort in the relationship. He had always remained stationary, almost indifferent. We had been neighbors since childhood, and I had harbored a crush on him for a full decade. In the 10th year, tragedy struck when he was involved in a car accident that nearly left him confined to a wheelchair for life. His ex-girlfriend, Chelle, used studying abroad as an excuse to abandon him, running off to another country. It was I who stayed by his bedside, nursing him back to health, and accompanying him on countless trips to seek medical help and undergo rehabilitation. I kept vigil by his side day and night. Perhaps out of gratitude, Keith finally accepted my affection. Those days, although challenging, brought me a deep sense of happiness. It was obvious I loved him more than he loved me. Then came our anniversary. I had bought a cake and prepared a feast, eagerly waiting for him to come home from work. I waited from dusk until the early hours of the morning, but he never showed up. I had called him multiple times. One of my colleagues called in sick, and I'm covering for him, he had said when he finally answered. Is anyone even riding hot air balloons at this hour? I asked. Don't be suspicious. I'm just putting in some extra hours. The hot air balloons need maintenance too. What time will you be back? I asked him again, a little later. Okay, I've made your favorite dishes, so please come home soon. As time went on, whenever I asked, his responses became more dismissive. I'll be back later. All those laters often stretched into the early hours of the morning. Then there was the night I had heated his meal several times already when my phone suddenly pinged with a notification. It was a post from Michelle. After such a long separation, we still have so much to talk about. How fortunate I am to have met you in this lifetime. The accompanying photo showed an aromatic candle. In the comments, someone asked who had given it to her. Michelle replied, an old friend of mine. We went to a DIY studio today, and he made it for me to help with my insomnia. The comment section was filled with praise and envy. With a sinking heart, I quickly spotted Keith's account among the likes. My intuition screamed that he was with Michelle. After all this time together, he had never given me a single gift, yet as soon as she returned he seemed to drop everything for her. I sat on the sofa, tossing and turning, unable to sleep through the night.